Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senapataratna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have Earl Grey with orange. I actually got this in Japan. It brews really quick. It only takes a minute, so it's super strong. And I have caramel and cheddar popcorn mixed together. Because really, you don't do caramel, you don't do cheddar, you do them together. So let's get real. I today want to say, first of all, happy birthday to my daughter. Like today, when this comes out, it is her birthday. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not doing so great, guys. I'm not doing good. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So it is her birthday, and it is my first birthday without her in my house. I had no idea. Nobody talks about this. Maybe they do, about how the first birthday that they're gone is really tough. And I have been struggling. Her birthday has been such a big deal to me. Obviously, we waited 10 years for her, and every year has been such a blessing. And every year I make a really big deal about her birthday. I realize it's probably because I have an only, at least that's what my friends tell me. But to me, it is such a reminder of what God has done and that He can step into anything and change it in a moment. And that birth was such a miracle in my life that I look back and go, wow, God is so good. And now she's 19. How did that happen? Like, where did time go? And how exactly am I supposed to cope without her being here all of a sudden? So every year for her birthday, almost every year, I started making birthday banners. Instead of like buying them, I made them. So I would make them in the shape of whatever she was like, I love Mickey Mouse. I made a Mickey Mouse one. And then I'd make a wreath for the door because I love making wreaths for my door. It is something that I really enjoy. But I have not done it in over a year. I've not changed the wreath to my door. I've been using old ones because I just cannot find the motivation. I will be completely honest with you. This has been a struggle bus year for me. There are moments that I'm like, yee! There are moments that I'm like, oh my goodness, what is happening? And right now I'm in the oh my goodness stage where I realized that she wasn't going to be home for her birthday. Second semester at college has been so much harder for me emotionally than the first one. The first one, I was like, look at me, I'm an empty nester. Like, I totally have this. Like, I've got new hobbies. I'm thriving. Second semester, I am such an Eeyore. It is kind of ridiculous. If you don't know who Eeyore is, he's from Winnie the Pooh, and he's really sad about everything. All right. That is where I've been. I'm like, I am just sad. I am unmotivated. I am feeling purposeless. I just have kind of lost my spark. I'll be real with you. I feel like I've lost my spark. I feel like someone came and snuffed out my light and has just gone, well, good luck. And I'm like, I need my candle lit again. I just don't have the spark, to the point that I haven't touched my puzzle in 2 weeks. Things are just not flowing very well for me right now. And I know part of that is that I am missing my daughter and that she's going to wake up in the morning and I'm not going to be there. And I haven't done my normal birthday celebrations this year. And you just feel off, right? You just aren't sure why you're feeling the way you're feeling. I know that my husband in a few weeks turns 50, which feels really daunting to me. I realized that like on Sunday, my husband said he turned 50, and some ladies like, been there, done that. Like for some people, that's not that big of a deal. For me, it is really kind of the end of something. And I realized that last night as I was sitting out like in my living room and I started crying, and I was like, why am I crying? Like, I'm just bursting into tears for no apparent reason. I'm full in the like, yay, deep, dark sadness kind of place. And I realized that turning 50 for my husband means in 6 months, I turn 50 because I'm only a couple months younger than he is. Well, 6 months. And let's just hold on to that 6 months. But in your 40s, you can have more children. It's a miracle when it happens, but you can still have more children. And every year, a little bit of that disappears and a little bit more disappears. And 50, it's done. Like, I know, and I knew at 49 it was done. I knew at 46 it was done. Like, I get that. But there's just a permanent end to it when you turn 50. That I am not going to have more children when my daughter's 20 years old, right? Like, that's not tangible. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I completely get that this is crazy even talking about it, but it's the end of that dream for me. It is the end of being able to have multiple birthdays again at my house and walking through another child's joyous elementary years and middle school years and high school years. And I realize I have treasured every moment. I really have. I've treasured every moment with Sam. But it doesn't take away from the sadness that is, I'm now too old to have more children. Yes, I can adopt. Yes, all those things, but that is not the path that God has called me to. We have walked down those paths and they have slammed in our face. And I'm not going to pry open any doors that the Lord closes. So I am just kind of in that place of feeling sad. And knowing that her birthday, she's going to have a great birthday. I know that. She's got friends. She's thriving in college. Like, things are going really well for her. And I am in the midst of sadness. And I'm in the midst of going, Lord, what do you want from me? I feel like everything that I've ever dreamt of has either been done or I don't know, it's never going to come true. And so I'm kind of in that place of like, you're supposed to be dreaming for the future, but I really have no idea how to do that at this point. I'm just like, I'll try to get out of bed today. Is that enough of a victory? Oh man, this is sounding really sad, but it is. For me, it's really sad. And I wanted to come on and talk about this today because there's so often that we're walking through things that people don't understand. People do not quite get why you're sad. I remember talking to a widow once, and her husband had died like 7 years before we were talking. And we were just chatting, and I remember she said something that was really like kind of hit me along the face. And it was, I had a lot of people those first 2 years after his death that were there for me, that were like, hey, I'm here, what do you need? That were checking in on her. And after year 2, everyone disappeared. And nobody was like, oh, how are you doing? Do you still miss him? How are things going? They were like, okay, now you're moving on, right? Like, you've got a new life and things are better. And that people kind of give you a time limit of how long you can mourn, how long you can be sad. You know, you lose a job and they're like, okay, great. That was 2 weeks ago. Let's move on. You know, it just, people are not necessarily there for the long haul, or they think that's nothing. Let me tell you about what I'm walking through. Have you ever been in those conversations? I have. I'm in those all the time. Hey, yeah, that's really sad. Or they don't even say it. But they're walking through something and you're like, wow, I am nowhere near that. I just missed my daughter. That's kind of dumb for me to be feeling that way. And I really was praying about this and have tried to record this podcast several times now, and it has not worked. And I was praying about it, and I felt like the Lord was like, I will be there for anything and understand everything. And I realize that may sound super simple for you this morning or this afternoon or this evening, whenever you're listening to this. But that's the truth. The Lord is there for everything and understands it all. He is not going to make fun of you because you're crying over your daughter's birthday and that it would be creepy for you to go in and decorate her college dorm and be there when she wakes up in the morning. Yes, I'm not doing that. Um, I'm not. It's okay. But I know that it's not a big deal to anyone else, but it is to me. And it is really sad, and it's something that I'm really struggling with. And the Lord is not going, okay, come to me when it's bigger, right? Come to me when it's something that maybe other people care about. God is like, I care about it. I care about that small thing in your life that is throwing you for a loop, and you can't explain it to other people because they're like, that's weird. When something that happens that really isn't that big of a deal to anyone else, even the people that love you the most, the Lord understands. And He wants to walk through it with you, and He wants to carry that burden and that sadness with you. And I just thought someone else needed to hear that this week, that your problem may not be big, and maybe it is. Maybe it's really big, but it may just be some minor thing that feels overwhelming right now. God is not going, okay, buck up, shake it off, let's move on. He's like, it's okay. I am here in the midst of your sadness, even when no one else is. The other day, I was going to get something out of the cupboard, and I put my finger down, and a little splinter went all the way up into my finger. And I was like, okay, toughen up. And blood is gushing. And I was like, I looked at my husband and I said, get the tweezers. And he came and he pulled this teeny tiny little sliver out of my finger. Like, it was itty bitty. And I was so grateful to him. I was like, I just love you so much for saving me. And all he did is pull out a teeny tiny little sliver. But that little sliver hurt. And it was real, and it was tangible, and it hurt a lot. And he didn't understand the pain. He just stepped in and took care of it. And I put a Band-Aid on it, and it's perfectly fine. But that is the Lord. The Lord is like, everyone else may think that's a sliver, but I know how painful it is, and I'm going to walk through it with you. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I hope that you hear God's heart, that He is there for everything. He is not going to say that's too little for me to deal with. He wants to jump in and be part of whatever you're walking through. You can find this podcast on any channel. I don't know why I said podcast. You can also find it on YouTube. It's a totally different version on YouTube than it is here, which is very bizarre. But you can join us on Instagram and on Facebook at Real Life with Jenny. You can support this podcast by going to buymeacoffee.com/reallifewithjenny. All of that money goes right back into this podcast. So I really appreciate that. But really, God is so good that He cares about your splinters. That looks like a splinter to everybody else, but let me tell you, it is painful and it is hard to walk through. And so as I'm walking through this season of missing the birthday with my daughter and I'm feeling sad, I know that God is with me and He will be with you too. Have a great week.